Hi, I'm Shirley, the herb lady, and today we're going to talk about something that keeps walking into my shop. They keep having it all the time and they want to know how to get rid of it, and it's parasites. Parasites is something that I have dealt with ever since I first got into herbs. My husband had parasites, and we had to deal with it for a long, long time until we got rid of them out of his body because it made his lungs so weak that he got pneumonia, and I had to just keep cleaning him, and we finally got rid of the parasites. But parasites is something that 85% of us has it. They said right now it's supposed to be even more than 85%. But the main gist of it is if you like sugar, most time you got parasites because parasites live off of sugar and they lay hundreds of thousands of eggs. The Ascaris, it lays up to 250,000 eggs a day. So, and do you know when they lay the most eggs? Is during the full moon. So parasites, there's all kinds of parasites. There's over 100 different kinds that we can have in our body. But what we need to do is get rid of them. And we do have herbs to get rid of them. And you slowly get rid of them, but it takes about 120 days to get rid of them. I got many people at the shop that's on the parasite cleanse right now. And I've got 4 or 5 different kinds of parasite cleanse. And I got some for the younger ones. We've got one child that they sent me a picture of her diaper, and she had a Ascaris that came out of her, and she was about 12 inches long, the Ascaris was. And this child was just 1 year old. And when people say they don't believe in it, I just flip up my different pictures that I've got that people have sent to me, and I just show them the parasites that's coming out of the people. Because unless you really get into it, you don't really know you have it. But a lot of people that has parasites, they know it, they can feel it. Like I had a lady yesterday, and she said, I've been feeling them for years and years and years, and she finally decided to do something about it. And so she was real excited that it doesn't happen overnight. You have to keep working at it and keep working at killing the parasites, because where I learned my most was Hilda Clock, The Cure of All Disease, and they come in cycles. They have the adult. Here's the adult. Here's the adult right there. That's a fluke. That's the adult, and then they have the eggs, and then they have the larva. And it takes, when me and my husband started on a parasite cleanse, it was about 120 days before you can get them completely out of your body. And then I really don't know if you get them completely, but you get a lot of them out of your body at that time. And it really helps you. You feel more energy. You just feel a lot. And I got telephone calls. One lady called me at 10 o'clock at night, and she says, I need help, Shirley. And I said, what is wrong? And she said, well, you got my dog on this parasite cleanse. And she took the dog for a walk, and it was the long one. It was coming out of the dog. It was like 10 foot long. It was dragging behind the dog. And I said, well, where is your dog now? And she said, well, I got sliding doors. I got the dog half in and half out. And I said, go get plastic gloves, put it on, put a mask on, and take the dog for a walk till he or her passes the tapeworm. It was a tapeworm. And I said, don't try to pull it out, because if you did, then the egg starts coming out and it goes right up your nose unless you have a mask on. And so just keep walking so it can go completely out of the dog. And she did. And so she called back and she said, we got rid of it. And I said, now burn the tapeworm. And so she did. One lady called me, and she lives in Big Lake, and she knew I was in parasites. And in fact, parasites is the first class I ever taught 28 years ago. I taught on parasites, how people can have parasites and how children can have parasites. And this one lady walked up to me and she said, "I don't believe you." And I was doing live blood analysis then, so I said, "Why don't you come over and let me look at your blood?" And most of the people that's really rough against it or something like that, most times they're the ones that has the most parasites. And so we put her blood under, 1 drop of blood underneath the microscope, and she had parasites. And she said, "How did I get those?" I said, "I don't know." But she traveled to Mexico and different countries, and if you don't wash your toothbrush with the bottled water instead of underneath the water that come out of the faucet, most time you get parasites. And so a lot of kids, when they go on those mission trips, what happened is they end up with parasites, and they can have them the rest of their life. One lady I knew at the library, she had one for 3 years, and they didn't think she was going to make it till they finally can get it out of her, because it takes all your energy away. It just takes all your energy completely away. And so, but anyway, this lady in Big Leg, she called me up, and she was so excited. They had just got to kill a roadkill, and they had the moose on the kitchen table. And she said, "Shirley, we're pulling this big tapeworm out, and I measured it's over 40 feet long." She said, "You put it in some alcohol, and I can bring it, and you can put it in your shop." I went, "Do you have a mask on?" "Well, no." I said, "Do you have gloves on?" "No." I said, "Did you know that when you pull that tapeworm out, it's laying eggs right now?" She starts yelling and telling them to get the tapeworm out of their house. She hung up on me. Well, it wasn't funny, but it was, because because she was so excited, because she thought that she was going to help me to get a 40-foot tapeworm out of that moose. But when you stop pulling, that's when they start laying their eggs. And I have a whole bunch of videos on National Geographic, like when you eat fish, when you're out camping and you don't cook your fish. This one guy got one. He didn't cook his fish long enough, and he felt like something was coming out of him, and he yelled for his wife to get on some gloves. And they reenacted the whole thing on National Geographic, and I got the picture of it, how they was pulling it out of him, and then it wouldn't come no longer, and so she went and got the scissors and snapped it out. But that means it regrows itself. And so people needs to know that they hate vegetables and they hate herbs. So there's a set of herbs that we can start giving, and you just keep doing it for a whole cycle, about 120 days. And what you do is you start out small, and then you keep moving up larger and larger doses, and finally they can't handle the herbs, and they will literally come out. I passed one at the 108th day, and Stoney was 110th day, and Stoney's was a different color because he had got some over in Vietnam. And Vietnam, that most time they are either red or blue, but in the United States they're white, black, and clear. That's the ones we have seen mostly when you're in the United States. So, and then I had one guy brought his yellow, well, no, there was red with yellow eyes, and he had them in alcohol, and there was 6 of them that he had passed, and he had been over in India. So there's all kinds of parasites, but the main thing is you need to get rid of them. But the main thing is they live off of sugar. And if you eat, like if you bread turns into sugar, a cup of macaroni turns into a cup of sugar, pasta turns into sugar. Anything that turns into sugar helps to get the parasites. You need to make sure that if you have any grandchildren, make sure that if you have a sandbox, make sure that you cover it up every night when you leave. Or if not, a cat or animals will go there and they will use it for their waste material, and then there's more parasites there. If you have chronic digestive problems, gas, skin rashes, pain, stomach pain. All that has to do a lot of times with parasites. Parasites can be, you can get them from all kinds of different, mostly it's raw fish. You can get them from raw fish, you can get them from raw eggs. There's a picture of some of them that we have. Bears have parasites, and if you don't cook them long enough, pig has parasites. In fact, one of my herb guys, he loves ham and bacon. So what he did was he burnt ham and bacon black on both sides and sent it down to 2 universities. And they both came back with, there was 104 live parasites still alive after he had burnt black on both sides. So just burning it black doesn't mean that the parasites are gone. They're still alive in there. And then what picks them up and makes them multiply is the sugar content. So honestly, check yourself and see how you're feeling. If you feel like that you're weak all the time, or you don't have enough energy, or you want sugar all the time, that's one of the facts that you say, you know, you may have parasites, and it's really good to get rid of them, and then you will feel like a teenager. So I would say have happy health. Just be happy and get rid of your parasites.